Okay, now numbers 4. The first scene is like Poe comes into the house on her scooter and she realizes no one else is there, so she brings the other Teletubbies inside. They have the zoomed out windmill animation clip thing, and when they run off, they use the same TV event music from Naughty B, and the Nunu is apparently very silent, right, no, like, at the end of the scene. Yeah, like at the end, the Nunu just rolls right away and cleans up, but he's very silent. But yeah, and the TV event, different, Tinky Winky is chosen, but they use different audio again. Yeah, kids are learning about the number 4, like usual. And this next scene, probably one of the craziest scenes on the show. But yeah. A giant inflatable number 4 appears, and they see 4 different things, like 4 flowers and stuff, and a voice trumpet keeps singing 1, 2, 3, 4, sing a song of 4. Like, that gets annoying. Yeah, apparently. But yeah. And then after that, at the end, like, the voice trumpet's still singing, but then the 4 disappears as she's still singing, and then the Teletubbies hear the windmill stopping, and they see it stopping, and they say, run off. And like the Lithuanian version, at the end, when the 4 disappears and the voice trumpet's singing the song, there's no audio playing except for the voice trumpet, and then when he's done singing, it just randomly, like, the original audio of the windmill stopping just fades in all of a sudden. In the Sunday special version, instead of that, they go watch the Magic House. I have no idea what version it is, but I'm gonna guess bottom right. I don't know. Dipsy's the missing Teletubby, Lala's the Boo Shouter. I think that happens quite a lot. Dave Thompson's also uncredited in this episode, much like in Guessing Game. And this is also the first appearance of another new Tinky Winky costume. Yeah, they always, like, change the costumes, like, a lot in this series. And this Tinky Winky costume looks kind of weird, in my opinion. I always thought it looked weird, to be honest. Now, dandelion clocks. This is one of my favorites. Tinky Winky, the opening scene is Tinky Winky just jumping on a hill, and he calls out to the other Teletubbies, and yeah, they see the windmill spinning. Yeah, apparently. But yeah. And then the TV event, Poe is chosen, and they use different audio the second time, and, a bunch of kids go find some dandelion clocks, you know, like those, like, kinds of flowers that you blow, and, like, those, like, things fly away in the wind. I used to love those when I was little. But yeah. In the Portuguese version, there's a different TV event where some kids are, planting stuff, like, yeah, apparently. And, like, the scene where Poe was having a blowing day. She's blowing, like, all the blankets off of the beds, the Tubby Toast off of the table, and she's blowing the Teletubbies up the slide. But she can't get Tinky Winky up there. So yeah, she has to try really hard. But yeah. In one part, I never noticed this until I read about this a little while ago. The music for when you click on the blue plant and play with the Teletubbies is heard at one point. But yeah. And then they show the zoomed out windmill clip. Apparently, like, I heard when Poe goes up the slide, which, by the way, is obviously just reversed stock footage, the audio for when they go down the slide is used instead. I don't get how that works. And then they watch the dancing bear dancing once. But yeah. And then the windmill stops spinning. Tinky Winky is the missing Teletubby, and Dipsy's the Boo Shouter. So yeah. Ice skating. This one's an interesting one. First off is a scene where like Poe spills her tubby custard, but Tinky Winky slips on it. Apparently, like why isn't Poe the one who slips on it? Like, doesn't she? Won't she ever learn that her actions have consequences? But yeah. But yeah, apparently Tinky Winky like slips on it. I was like freaked out by that. But yeah. Yeah, apparently. They use a closing shot as an opening shot in this scene. By the way, they use a zoomed in window windmill clip. And then apparently apparently in the Sunday special version actually, this scene was moved to after the TV event, and the opening scene is the scene from Dirty Dog where there's an extra piece of tubby toast. That's what I heard. Apparently, the TV event is about some kids ice skating, playing Ring Around the Rosie and stuff. Different Dipsy audio second time when Dipsy's chosen. In the Portuguese version, there's just a TV event where some kids are playing on rollerblades, and Sun Giggle screams. She probably did in one of the other episodes I just talked about. Oh yeah, she did in Numbers 4. Did I already talk about that? I don't know. But yeah. And then after that, there's this scene where the Teletubbies are holding hands. Apparently. Say they're holding hands and spinning around. Like, they're playing, like, Ring Around the Rosie or something. The spot where they're, like playing Ring Around the Rosie looks like the same spot where they lie down on ground and their tummies light up at the beginning of a TV event. Yeah, this scene has become really popular on YouTube. Yeah, it's, like, really trending. It was one of the first Teletubbies videos I've seen on YouTube, apparently. But yeah. And then the windmill stops spinning, but something weird happens. The Teletubbies see the windmill spinning normally, and plays the stop spinning sound, and then they say uh-oh and run off, and then it stops spinning for real. I don't get why that happens, but apparently it's not the only time that happens. Instead of this, however, before that happens, instead of the holding hands segment, they watch the three ships. Dipsy's the missing Teletubby and Lala's the boo shouter. An interesting fact that Simon Sheldon does the opening scene, and not like the holding hands segment. Also, yes, rest in peace, Simon Sheldon. So sometimes on some websites, this is listed off as a season 9 episode. Apparently, like I was looking up this website to make this document, and like in its place was a much later episode from like a later seasons called Colors Yellow. So yeah, I had to like look it up or something. First, okay, this next up is Josie's Pots. The opening scene is the opening scene from Naughty Sock, except this time they used the regular Right Path 1 opening shot. And they also used a different field shot, and the audio is different. Like, the music is different, and they used different dialogue recording of the Teletubbies saying, boo, uh-oh, or something. TV event, the girl Josie and her friends are making pots and stuff out of, like, clay and stuff. In the Portuguese version, there's a different TV event where they're just making different kinds of art out of clay, which is pretty interesting. Tinky Winky's chosen, they use different audio a second time, and, says Sun Giggle. Says different Sun Giggle. Does the Sun scream while she's giggling, or does... I think, like, basically, like, it's, like, different audio of the Sun giggling. It's not her screaming, but yeah. And then this scene that I only remember because it was on the Favorite Things video, the Teletubbies, like, each one by one lose their favorite things, and they have to go look for them. When one of the Teletubbies loses their favorite thing, everyone else is, like, going in different places while they're just standing in one spot. And, like, all the Teletubbies look in the same spots. At one point in this segment, when they're looking everywhere, the windmill is seen slowing down, and it stops. And then it just, keeps going. So, yeah. And speaking of, at the end of the episode, the windmill does stop spinning. And then, like, as it cuts back to the Teletubbies saying, uh-oh, the sound, the last part of the stop spinning sound is cut off, apparently. And then the Teletubbies say, oh, run off, and the son screams, like the baby son screams. I don't know what happens in the Sunday special version. Either one of these three things I heard could happen. Either the baby son giggles instead of the windmill stopping, going on to the next episode. A magical event begins. I have no idea which one. Maybe the animal parade. Or the ice skating TV event starts. I don't know. I say the ice skating TV event starts, because something like that did happen on the Favorite Things video. Yeah. And I was, like, watching this episode to, like, put some information on this document, and I noticed when it cuts to the voice trumpet rising, the voice trumpet's rise is delayed, but after, like, a second, the voice trumpet teleports, like, a few inches higher, apparently. Like, you can literally notice that. Pose the missing Teletubby, Dipsy's the boo shouter. Am I like the only person that notices that? Next up, animals fish. Or should I say, animals for fish. That's what they sometimes call it. This one has the opening scene from Swimming with Stephanie playing, where the Teletubbies are falling asleep on a hill. They use the Right Path 1 opening shot, a different field shot. The audio's different, and some parts of this scene are shot from a different angle. In the original scene, it shows the Teletubbies sleeping, and then it cuts to two rabbits just looking at them, as you can hear the windmill spinning, which they're woken up by. It doesn't show the clip of the rabbits, but yeah. And then the TV event, Lala's chosen, they use different audio. Yeah, like Andy Brown and those kids are gonna look for different kinds of fish in a creek, apparently. Like, there's this weird, like, water bug or something, I don't know. It's kind of a weird TV event. And the son screams while she's giggling. Next up is a scene where Poe is, like, making so much loud noises on the control panel, and the Teletubbies just want her to be quiet. They just want her to shut the hell up. I don't know. But, yeah, it's kind of a crazy scene. But, yeah, apparently. And then they do the shortened version of the walking dance. Previously, in Numbers 3, they used different audio. They used a different audio of the Teletubbies giggling than what usually happens. Here, this is the first episode where they use the regular giggling sound. In the Sunday special version, instead of that, I heard they do the 3 ships. So, yeah. I don't know how it would start, but yeah. And then, like, after the walking dance is over, the camera cuts to the voice trumpet, instead of, like, showing the baby son giggling or the windmill stopping before that. And, the rise is slightly delayed, not too delayed, but yeah. Poe's the missing Teletubby, and Tinky Winky's the boo shouter. So yeah, and that's it for this part.